This is 2 Minutes Together, a ministry of Central Lutheran Church, Eugene, Oregon. I'm Pastor Ben. This week we have the very famous parable of the prodigal son. There's a lot going on with this parable, and there are many interpretations of it. In fact, that's the purpose of parables, is for them to have many meanings. And there's a lot of details, and all of it is rich with meaning. That's why Jesus uses parables like this. I'd like to look at just one little aspect. Almost all of you know this story of the prodigal son, of the son who takes his inheritance, leaves, wastes it all, and then comes back and asks his father if he could simply be a servant in his household. And of course, before he could even ask that, the father rushes to him, puts the finest robe upon him, puts a ring on his finger, and greets him as the son who was lost has now been returned. Now, there's a lot going on there, but I'd like to look at one little detail you may not have thought about, which is, what is this thing about him putting a ring on his finger? And there's probably a few different things going on there, but rings in the ancient world were one of the aspects of identity, because very frequently it was a signet ring. That is to say, it left an imprint in wax, and you would seal things with it. Not all rings were like that, but many were. And most rings were markers of identity. When this father puts this ring on his finger, he's saying, even though you renounced your birthright, I never renounced you. You still have the identity of a member of my household. I think that's a very important point theologically for what one of the things Jesus is saying is, when this one leaves and returns, that in the eyes of the Father, you never had really left, and your identity has not been lost, not corrupted. If we were to frame this much larger, to say the image of God that is within you, it remains within you. And it doesn't really matter what we do, it still remains within you. In fact, in the early Christianity, they would talk about the image might be able to be covered over, but it's never went away. And God can find it and embrace you once again as a beloved child of God's household. This has been 2 Minutes Together. I'm Pastor Ben.